Saksi ang maraming gusali sa ating kasaysayan. Nakaukit sa mga haligi nito ang mga alaala ng nagdaang henerasyong hinubog ng panahon. Kung nakapagsasalita lamang ang sahig at dingding nito, anong kwento kaya ang ibubulong nito mula sa ating nakaraan? Ang mga gusali ay isa sa mga mahalagang pamana sa kultura. Ito ang tulay na nagdurugtong sa atin mula sa kasalukuyan patungo sa nakaraan. Ako si Junroy Volante. Samahan niyo akong tuklasin ang mga kwento sa likod ng makasaysayang mga struktura ng ilan sa mga paaralan sa lungsod Naga. Isa ang Gabaldon Building sa mga strukturang itinuturing na pamana ng kasaysayan. Taong 1907, sa bisa ng Republic Act 1801, nagsimulang magpatayo ng mga gusali sa mga pampublikong paaralan sa bansa. Ang Gabaldon ay hango sa pangalan ni Isauro Gabaldon, na dating kinatawan ng Nueva Ecija sa Pambansang Asembleya ng Pilipinas. Siya ang nagpasa ng nasabing batas na naglaan ng 1 milyong piso para sa pagpapatayo ng mga gusaling pampaaralan mula taong 1907 hanggang 1915. Si William Parsons, architect ng Bureau of Public Works mula 1905 hanggang 1915, panahon ng Commonwealth, ang nagdisenyo ng mga gusali na bahagyang nakaangat sa lupa at may mga silid-aralan sa tabi ng isang bukas na bulwagan. Inihalintulad ni Parson sa bahay kubo ang disenyo nito. Gawa sa kahoy ang buong gusali, maliban sa bubong na gawa sa yero. Mataas ang kisame nito, malawak ang mga bintana na gawa sa kapis at maluwag ang mga pasilyo. Ang malalaking bintana nito ay iniakma sa mainit na klima sa Pilipinas, upang malayang nakapapasok ang hangin sa loob. Sa gitna ng mabilis na modernisasyon sa lungsod Naga, mayroong 4 na paaralang nagsisilbing tahanan ng ilan sa mga natitirang Gabaldon Building sa bansa. Matatagpuan ang mga ito sa Santa Cruz Elementary School, Tinago Central School, Naga Central School 1, at Camarines National High School.
Ang Gabaldon Building po ay mahalaga sa cultural heritage ng ating bansa. Ito ang sumisimbolo ng pinaghalong bahay kubo at bahay bato. Kaya kailangang ipreserba ang Gabaldon para sa susunod na henerasyon, para makita ng mga kabataan ang ating nakaraan. Through the years, ang Gabaldon Building na ito ay nagsilbing classroom, principal's office, at library ng aming paaralan. Kaya malaking silbi po ang building na ito sa aming paaralan.
Ang gusali ng Gabaldon ng paaralan ay ang aming simbolo ng awtoridad. Malugod nitong tinatanggap ang aming mga mag-aaral, magulang at bisita kapag pumapasok sila sa bakuran ng aming paaralan. Ang Tinago Central School na itinatag noong 1928. At ang gusali Gabaldon ay ang unang permanenteng struktura na itinayo para sa paaralan. Simula noon, tinatanggap nito at nasaksiyan nito ang paglago ng libu-libong mga mag-aaral. Nagtiis ito ng maraming kalamidad tulad ng bagyo, baha at lindol. Ngayon, ginagamit ito bilang isang pang-administratibong tanggapan, silid-aralan at bulwagan ng maraming layunin.
Ang paaralang sentral ng lungsod ng Naga ay isa sa pinakamatandang paaralan dito sa lungsod. Ang paaralan ito ay mabanat sapagkat nabigyan kami ng Gabaldon, isa sa pinaka matibay, na masasabi natin matibay na gusali. At ayon sa kasaysayan, ang gusaling gabaldon na ito ay naitatag noong 2018 na kung saan dahil nga sa kautusan ng ating pamahalaan na i-preserve yung mga gabaldon building, yan. Kaya bago na ang kanyang struktura, subalit hindi pa rin inalis yung pinaka-original na struktura ng gusaling ito. So, sa ngayon, ang mga silid ay ginagamit pa rin o nagsisilbing aralan ng mga mag-aaral dito sa lungsod ng Naga. Ang iba naman ay mga tanggapan na ng iba't ibang asignatura.
Ilang minutong lakaran mula sa kinatatayuan ko, matatagpuan naman ang Gabaldon Building sa isa sa pinakamalaking public secondary school sa buong Pilipinas, ang Camarines National High School. Ang kinatawan ng ambos Camarines sa una at ikalawang Philippine Assembly noong 1907 na si Tomas Arejola ang nagsilbing instrumento upang maisakatuparan ang pagpapatayo ng Gabaldon sa Camarines National High School na dating Camarines High School. Dalawang Gabaldon ang matatagpuan sa nasabing paaralan, may isang palapag na gusali at may dalawang palapag na nakaharap sa pangunahing tarangkahan ng paaralan.
Ang unang-una ay ilagay natin sa konteksto ng history. Ang paaralang tinatag ng mga Amerikano ay nangyari dahil sa pagdating dito ng mga natawag natin mga Thomasites, mga professional teachers na pinag-recruit ng American colonial government sa Pilipinas dahil sa pangangailangan nila ng mga professional na mga teachers. Kailangan talaga nakita ng panahon ng mga Amerikano na nangangailangan talaga ng mas matino, mas presentable na building na functional para sa mga estudyante na hindi apektado ng klima ng Pilipinas. Parating may bagyo, parating umuulan. So, kailangan natin ng mas magandang struktura. Ito ang naisipan ni Isauro Gabaldon, isang mestizo Espanyol na member ng Philippine Legislature ng 1907. Isa sa mga unang mga bills or mga legislations na pinag-file niya ay ang magkaroon ng allocation ang pamahalaang Amerikano ng mahalagang pera para sa pagpapagawa ng mga buildings na devoted na lamang sa mga paaralang at tinatawag na natin ngayon na Gabaldon Building to honor the one who sponsored this particular legislation. Kaya isang malaking legacy ito sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, itong Gabaldon Building. At dito sa Camarines High School, maswerte tayo dahil meron tayong buildings na ganito na hindi na lang yung typical na Gabaldon Building na maliit, pero meron tayong imposing na Gabaldon Building na napakalaki at dalawang floors ang struktura nito. So,
Noong ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig, ang mga sundalong Hapones sa ilalim ni Coronel Isabashi ay ginamit ang pangunahing gusaling Gabaldon bilang himpilan, kung saan pwersahan nilang pinaamin ang mga nahuling Filipino-Amerikano bago ilipat sa Ateneo de Naga upang ikulong at pahirapan.
building. Nang pumasok ang mga Hapon, dahil nga sa napakalawak ng lugar na ito, isa to sa mga pinag-occupy nila at naging isang major na military installation ng mga Hapones. Katulad ng, for example, ng Ateneo de Naga na naging concentration camp. Pero by 1944, dumami yung presensya ng mga Hapones dito. In fact, I think it's around 17,000 to about 20,000 yung mga Japanese na pumunta dito. Imagine if you have a population ng mga sundalong mga 17 to 20,000 na Japanese. Ang Naga would be overcrowded with soldiers. By April 9, nilusob na ng mga guerrilla led by your very own alumnus, Juan Q. Miranda. Siya ang naging overall composite officer buong mga guerrilla units dito sa Camarines Sur, siya ang naging leader, siya ang elected na leader. Kaya nung pumasok sila dito sa Naga, pinag-liberate nila ang Naga, halos yung mga Hapon dito ay tumakas na. Kaya nga, in a way, na-spare itong lugar na ito at yung mga buildings dito, hindi masyadong nag-suffer ng grabing damages. Of course, merong damage kasi naghulog ng mga bomba rin dito. In fact, I remember right, merong isang bombang nahulog dito sa lugar na ito sa Camarines High School. Pero hindi masyadong naggrabe dahil walang masyadong open fighting dito nangyari. Kasi ang laban na Major Miranda doon sa may Ateneo at dito sa may tulay na ito sa may Magsaysay, sa may Peña Francia, patungo doon sa may other side ng road nito.
Ang isang palapag na gusaling gabaldon ay napinsala noong panahon ng digmaan. Dumaan ito sa rehabilitasyon sa ilalim ng Philippine Rehabilitation Act o War Damage Act of 1946 na may laang pondo mula sa gobyerno ng Estados Unidos.
Ang Gabaldon Building ay isang mahalagang relic ng American era architecture sa Bicol region at sa Pilipinas. At dahil dito, ito ay nagiging paalala sa atin ng mahalagang bahagi ng kasaysayan natin sa ilalim ng administrasyong Amerikano na ang edukasyon natin, ang sistema ng demokrasya ay dito hinubog sa building ng Gabaldon. Kaya ito'y bahagi ng buhay at kasaysayan ng mga Bicolano. Ito'y connection din natin sa isang bahagi ng ating buhay kung saan ang ating mga ninuno ay naging bahagi ng kanilang pagpayabong ng kanilang kaalaman. Gabaldon Building plays a crucial role in this celebration as it becomes the monument of history of the American regime. By way of the Gabaldon Building, the memory of the American regime continues to be alive in the life of the present Bicolanos and Filipinos in general, today and the coming generation, as long as the Gabaldon Building stands.
Sa pagdaan ng panahon, piping saksi ang Gabaldon Building sa iba't ibang kwento ng paghubog ng kaalaman at pagpanday sa pagkatao ng mga nagdaang henerasyon ng high schoolano.
Pinarepair ka agad. Pero yung Gabaldon na yan, may ground floor yan, may underground yan eh. Parang mga room by room. Noon nga, naglalaro kami dyan, nababa kami, nalaro. Diyan ang sayawan namin dyan pag junior and senior ball. Ang saya-saya dyan sa Gabaldon na yan. Pero sa ibaba, classroom namin yan. Kami, we enjoy so much. Naglalaro kami dyan pag vacation. Umaakit kami sa Kisame. Yung Kisame na yan, nandyan nakatira yung mga paniki. Ginagawa namin, yung may butas dyan, doon nalabas. Lalagay namin ng sako. Halos kalahating sako na kukuha namin. Ngayon, ginagawa namin yung pulutan, aadobo. Ang sarap ng paniki, pero ipinagbawal na yun dahil nawawalan na. Pero hanggang ngayon mayroon dyan sa kamay, pag 6 o'clock lalabas na yan eh. Kayong mga mag-graduate ngayon, kailangan magsalingoy ka mo sa pinanggalingan ninyo. Yun ang dapat na advice ko sa mga bagong graduate. Do not forget your alma mater.
Yung mga memorya ko dito sa Gabaldon Building, kung babalikan ko, napakasaya kasi nga, ito napakasignifikanteng lugar. Kasi ang dami namin kumuha ng exam noon, siguro mga less than 1,000. Tapos dito sa stage na to, ang daming mga palabas ang nakita ko mula dun sa mga palatuntunan. Tapos nung high school, 4th year high school ako, ginawa ito yung naging classroom namin noon with Mr. Yolando Pilapil sa Practical Arts, kung saan ito ay ginawang poultry. Pag nakita mo itong building na to, isipin mo kaagad na yan ay ang kamhay. Yan ang building kung saan labas-masok na napakaraming estudyante na umabot ng almost 12,000.
Sir, magandang araw po. Pinaunahan tayo ng gurong-guro ng Camarines National High School na si Ginoong Sulpicio si Alvarez upang ipakita sa atin ang kasalukuyang gamit ng Gabaldon Building sa ngayon. Tara.
So, Gabaldon dati naman natin ito ay classrooms. Kaya lang sa ngayon, may mga opisina na dito. So, itong parting ito, makikita mo na may parang mezzanine siya. Ano? Ito yung nasa higher. And then, makikita mo rin na meron siyang underground. Punta tayo sa magbabang parte. Makikita natin.
So, sa kinatatayuan natin ngayon, dito raw mismo, ikinukulong yung mga Pilipinong sundalo at mga Amerikano para i-interrogate, pahirapan, i-torture, bago ilipat doon sa atin ngayong dinaga upang ikulong at patayin, ugutan ng ulam. So napaka-makasaysayan talaga ng Gabaldon dito.
Ito yung klase ng classroom noon. Kaya lang ngayon ay ginagawa natin yung sorting area para sa distribution ng mobile na yun. Pag regularly may face-to-face, ito yung klase, yung pagkalaki ng classroom. Pag tinignan mo ay maluwang as compared doon sa regular classroom ngayon. Nandito rin yung guidance office. Meron tayo ditong 6 na guidance counselor. 7 sila lahat actually. And sa bandang dito ay yung medical natin, yung clinic natin. Meron tayong doctor, medical doctor. Meron din tayong dentist. And may nurse tayo para magbigay ng tulong sa pangangailangan ng medical ng mga estudyante at ng mga kaguruan natin dito sa atin.
Ako personally, nagugulat kung paano ang isang napakatandang gusali tulad ng Gabaldon ay nagagawa pa rin i-preserve ng country hanggang sa ngayon. Eto nga, kanina pa ito umaaraw sa akin ng atensyon. Etong balustri ba ito? Feeling ko, original pa ito, sir. Tama?
Tama ka, sir. Actually, pag tinignan mo, kahit yung kinakatayuan mo, ay original pa yan.
Pati yung design.
Nakakaisalin na. Wala ka na makikita ka yan ngayon. Mga design yung ganyan kasi yung sinaunang panahon pa talaga yung pagka-design yan. Ngayon, wala na ganyan eh. Kahit may mga ganyan. So, ito naman yung ngayon, call natin yun na ginagamit ngayon. Social holding ang tawag dito noon. Ito yung library na ginagawang library natin. Hanggang ngayon, kahit na siguro noon tuman ay ito na yung isang room na pinag-adapt para sa mga kagamitan ng estudyante, libro, teaching materials, nandito magazine para sa mga estudyante. Sa ngayon itong banda dyan, ginagamit natin para sa reading program ng school. Meron tayong tinatawag nating SRA o Science Research Associates. Yung isang banda naman dito, itong room na ito, proposal natin na ito ay mag-museum.
Saan po ito?
Ito yung tinatawag na bitaninga nila. Sabay pa rin ito yung ang taas niya. Pag mainit, gaya ngayon, ay ito pa rin yung parang exhaust window para yung init ay lumabas pa rin para ma-maintain niya yung klase ng klima dito sa loob.
So, mahirap po ba na i-maintain ang isang gusaling isang daang taon na tulad ng Gabaldon?
May kahirapan, pero dahil nga sa tulong ng National History Commission na silang nag-finance nito, medyo na-maintain natin, naayos natin. Gaya limbawa ngayon, ano ba yung challenge ngayon? Sa ikot ka babagbilang, natuklap yung bubong. Part ng bubong ay natuklap. So, After nun, hindi na yung cover ng nag-rehab, kaya sariling pundo natin. So yung ibang part, basta hindi lang kabuuan, ay napapaayos natin. Kaya sa ayos natin para din ma-maintain.
Sir, maraming salamat sa pagpaulak sa aming team. Sana hindi pa kayo mapagod sa paggawa ng paraan para mapanatiling nakatayo ang makasaysayang gusaling tulad ng Gabaldon na I'm sure naging sagisag na ng katatagan at pagbangon ng maraming estudyanteng dumaan dito. Ang ilan sa mga silid nito ngayon ay ginagamit bilang silid-aralan, opisina at klinika. Ang bulwagan sa ikalawang palapag ay ginagamit naman sa recitals, pagpupulong at iba pang pagtitipon. Mga bagyo at mahinang maintenance, dahil sa kakulangan sa pondo, ang naging pangunahing suliranin ng pamanang Bisaya. Noong dekada 70, sinira ng bagyong Sini ang bubong ng isang palapag na Gabaldon.
Batay doon sa Republic Act 166, hindi pwedeng basta i-demolish, baguhin ang istruktura ng mga heritage site. Now, as far as Gabaldon, pinagbatayan din nito yung nasabi kong Heritage Act na 166. Merong bagong nilabas sa panahon na ni Pangulong Duterte, yung Republic Act 11194. Ito yung talagang Republic Act na ang layunin lang ay i-preserve, i-protect, at saka i-restore, i-maintain ang mga Gabaldon. Nakalagay sa implementing rules and regulation na ginawa ng DepEd doon sa Republic Act 1194 ay hindi dapat binabago kahit ang kulay, kahit na kung ano ang purpose na una sa paggamit ng Gabaldon. Several years after ng centennial ng Kamhay noong 2002 ay nag-restore na tayo niyan. Although noong restoration, noong 2008 ba yun na restoration, wala pa nun yung Gabaldon Act, kaya naghanap pa tayo ng funding. Mabuti na lamang at yung Department of Education ay nag-allocate sa atin ng 10 million na budget. Kaya noong 2008, if I'm not mistaken, ay nagsaayos na din tayo nito. At ang yung sumunod na pagsaayos niya ay ito ng 2019. So habang nandyan ang Gabaldon, ito ay mananatiling simbolismo ng Camarines Sur National High School, ng Naga, ng Camarines Sur, at ng buong Bicol Region sa pagkakaroon ng maayos sa pagkatuto ng mga bata.
Paano na-renovate namin nung panahon akong principal? Na-renovate yun nang makatanggap kami ng notice galing sa DepEd na naghahanap talaga ng mga Gabaldon building for renovation. So, nagsulat kami, and then it was through Ma'am Lolit, the regional director ng secondary education. So, nagsulat kami with the old pictures and with the intention requesting for the renovation, restoration of the Gabaldon building. Kasi ako, history teacher. So, talagang ang gusto ko, yung ma-preserve talaga yung mga historical sites at historical building. Ang Gabaldon building, may traces ng American period education. Yung education na binigay sa atin. Kung baga sa yung contribution ng mga Amerikano sa atin, isang malagandang halimbawa ang Gabaldon at isang magandang pruweba na talagang may ginawa ang mga Amerikano para sa edukasyon ng mga Bicolano.
Nagpapatuloy ang mga inisyatibo sa pangangalaga at pagpreserba ng Gabaldon Building sa kasalukuyang administrasyon na pinamumunuan ng punong guro ng paaralan na si Dr. Sulpicio C. Alferez III.
Naging malaking bahagi ang Gabaldon sa taon ng pag-aaral ko sa institusyon na ito. Sa araw-araw na pagpasok, ito ang bumubungad at bumabati sa akin. Naging hagdan rin ito sa pagka-estudyante ko sapagkat sa hindi mabilang na mga pag-iensayo, mga aktibidades na aking nasaksihan sa gusaling mismong ito. Dito ko simulang nalaman at natutunan kung paano magsalita sa harap ng maraming tao. Sa library hall, nagsalita sa harap ng General Student Council unang beses, Dito ko na rin na-identify yung character development sapagkat dito ko nasaksihan kung paano ako maging isang estudyante sa harap ng maraming tao. Ang gabaldon ay ang kamhay mismo. Sa lahat ng mga naibigay ng gusaling ito sa akin bilang estudyante, ay gusto kong maranasan at maibigay yun sa mga susunod pang henerasyon at sa mga libo-libo pang mag-aaral sa institusyon na ito. Ang gabaldon ay kamhay mismo, kaya mahalaga na ma-preserve natin ito.
Sinasabing ang pagpapahalaga natin sa ating nakaraan ay refleksyon ng pagpapahalaga natin sa ating kinabukasan. Kung mananatiling nakatayo ang mga gusaling ito, hindi na lamang sila sa mga aklat masisilayan ng mga susunod na henerasyon. Ang mga gusaling ito ay hindi na lamang basta gusali. Sila ay sagisag ng katatagan at pagbangon. Marami mang unos ang sumubok sa pundasyon ng mga strukturang ito. Ilang digmaan man ang dumaan, nananatili itong nakatindig. Ngunit mas mapaminsala ang bagyo ng paglimot. Kung hindi maipapasa sa kabataan ang mga kwentong nakaukit sa mga haligi nito, unti-unting guguho at mabubura ang kasaysayang nananahan dito. Bilang tahanan ng karunungan, hindi lamang kaalaman at karanasan ang ipapabaon natin sa mga mag-aaral. Ang mga gusaling gabaldon at ang mga alaalang kakambal nito, ang ating magsisilbing natatanging pamana.
1,956 successful junior high school completers, with their proud parents, competent members of faculty, administrative and support staff, honorable officials from the Division of City Schools, and the distinguished guest speaker. Together, in one momentous school event, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 6th Junior High School Moving Up Ceremony of Camarines National High School with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, pelas ng sinangalan, alab ng puso, sa bibig mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisikin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagbibigay. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidinig. Lupa ng araw ng walhati at sinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pagpay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Il Signore mi rende un nostro strumento della vostra pace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Dove ci è, oh Dio, lasciarlo seminare l'amore. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Dove ci è verità, perdono. Dove ci è dubbio, dove ci è desperazione, sperare, dove ci è la nerezza, illuminarsi, dove ci è la tristezza. Il Signore make me
Our very distinguished guest speaker, Attorney J. Rupert D. Tabora, Schools Division Superintendent Mariano B. de Guzman, CESO 6, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Cecil C. Ferro, OIC Chief of the Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Analisa Abulok, School Governance and Operations Chief, Dr. Renato Algavino, Education Program Supervisors, District Supervisors, that includes our very own PSDS Michael Del Rosario, all other Naga City Schools Division Office personnel, our School Principal 4, Dr. Sulpicio C. Alfers III, Assistant Principals Lynn R. Bilias for OLS, and Melissa B. Bobo, Senior High School, Department Heads, Jose Bicielo Filipino, Dexter E. Cornejo Science, Irma A. De Jesus English, Evangeline V. Magalona, Araling Panlipunan, and this year's Moving Up and Graduation Chair, Elsa L. Malapo, Mathematics, Almira S. Padua, TLE, Nympha C. Regalado, MAPE, Alma Belia S. Castillo, ESP Coordinator, all teaching and non-teaching personnel, the Parents Teachers Association, headed by its president, Ariel C. Brisado, students, and all other watching this event, a pleasant and wonderful afternoon. As I looked back to the time when the Department of Education announced about the opening of classes, I was reminded of the song Into the Unknown from the 2019 Disney film Frozen 2, and the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. It cannot be denied that before school year 2020-2021 finally opened, apprehensions of what could be along the way intimidatingly goggled DepEd officials, school administrators, parents, students, and other stakeholders. This hesitation and fear perhaps caused the clamor for academic freeze. The major culprit? Of course, the coronavirus disease or the COVID-19. The pandemic gave birth to unimagined problems that affect all aspects of the society, including the academic. They are towering that their shadows alone are enough to haunt anybody. Nevertheless, despite the threats, DepEd had been firm in its decision to go for the opening of classes, even if it would mean a journey to the unknown. Hence, despite having been caught off guard, the Department of Education took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Now, let us celebrate our successful journey with great gratitude to the Almighty God. On behalf of DepEd Camarines National High School, I welcome you all to the 6th Junior High School Moving Up ceremony. Thank you.
Unprecedented. The word that best describes the final academic year of our junior high school. Unprecedented is defined as never known, done, or experienced before. According to the Department of Education, Secretary Leonor Ambriones, education must continue even in times of crisis, whether it may be a calamity, disaster, emergency, quarantine, or even war. To the Naga City Schools Division officials, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Mariano B. de Guzman,
to the Camarines National High School, administrative and faculty staff, headed by Dr. Sulpicio C. Alvarez III, to our dear parents and guardians, to this year's completers, high schoolanos and high schoolanas, ladies and gentlemen, a blessed day to all of you. A year ago, as an incoming grade 10, I had visions of waking up early on the first Monday of June 2020, expecting to see the main campus filled with swarms of students. I also imagined taking pictures with classmates wearing suits and gowns on the memorable evening of junior's prom at Villa Casares Hotel. Furthermore, I assumed our moving up ceremony would still be in a vast school quadrangle, filled with smiling faces of the completers, with our parents, friends, teachers, and guests. But none of them included a global pandemic, constant social upheaval, and finding ourselves distanced from each other, working on modules or attending online class, and having our moving up ceremony through the virtual walls of a computer and phone screen. Nonetheless, here we are. What an achievement! We have done it, my fellow completers. I am lucky enough and honored to be chosen to deliver this speech on your behalf. Not only have we survived the pandemic's many tumultuous events, but we have also managed the exhausting and challenging beginnings of the so-called new normal education. We experienced a series of typhoons that caused floods, unstable internet connection, and power outage, prompting us and risking ourselves to go to malls or charging stations just to fully charge our laptops and mobile phones so we could connect to our messenger group chats. The new classroom setup we had for each of our learning areas. We also juggled modules and learning activity sheets. We even hustled household chores and video performance tasks, which I know many of us cursed to the point where we wondered if singing and dancing had any relevance to our future. We pushed and strived and adapted. We had found ways on how to cope, how to keep on learning, and how to survive. If this year has taught me anything, it would be to never start talking before you check to see if you are on mute. Just as the saying goes, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Basta daw kang high matibay. I was then skeptical whenever I heard this saying. Yet this moment, the fruit of our planted determination, serves as its reminder and evidence that we, fellow high schoolanos and high schoolanas, are strong. However, we never would have made it this far if it weren't for the people who helped us along the way. So, on behalf of Junior High School Class 2020-2021, I would like to thank the school administration for providing us the tools and resources we needed, particularly this year. To all our beloved teachers, especially our class advisors, we give you our deepest gratitude for your utmost sacrifice, patience, and consideration. Your love, efforts, and hard work transcend even the barriers of distance and technology, and for that we are grateful. To the board and officers of Csnhs, Parents and Teachers Association, thank you for your assistance. To the officials of the different barangays in Naga City and nearby municipalities that serve as centers for distribution of modules and retrieval of answer sheets, thank you. for making it possible for distance learning to be efficient and less risky for us. To our loving parents and guardians, thank you for your constant support. You all are the very witnesses to our struggles and endeavors. The number one supporters during the times when we succumb to fear and anxiety in this pandemic. We love you and are so blessed to have you all. To my mother and father, I dedicate this to you. And finally, to my batchmates. I cannot express how thankful I am to have met each of you. I am grateful for the memories, friendship, and camaraderie that you have shown. Will another chapter of our life comes to an end, another one begins. I wish you luck, and let's challenge ourselves to transcend the seas in pursuit of our aspirations, using this current predicament of ours as an inspiration to do our best, to work passionately, to dream highly, and to live meaningfully. We must do our part to overcome this pandemic and lit the fire to spark hope in those who need it the most. Let us be the change that our nation and this world need. Congratulations and thank you.
Good afternoon. To our school's Division Superintendent, Mariano B. Di Guzman, CESO 6, I have the honor to present to you our learner candidates for junior high school completion school year 2020-2021. Under the Science, Technology, and Engineering program, 112 learners. Special program in the arts, 69 learners. Special program in sports, 22 learners. Family farm curriculum, 62 learners. Special program in technical vocational education, 447 learners. Special program in foreign language, 106 learners. And basic education program, 1,138 learners. These learners have satisfactorily completed the requirements for the junior high school as prescribed by the Bureau of Curriculum Development of the Department of Education for your confirmation.
By the authority vested in me by the Department of Education as representative of the school's Division Superintendent, Mariano B. Di Guzman, CESO 6, and upon the recommendation of your school principal, Dr. Solpicio C. Alvarez III, that you have satisfactorily complied the basic requirements in the junior high school level under the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Bureau of Curriculum Development of the Department of Education, I hereby confirm your completion in the junior high school level of Camarines or National High School this 14th day of July 2021 at Naga City, Philippines. Congratulations!
Good afternoon. I have the distinct honor of introducing our invited guest speaker for the moving up ceremony of Class 2021. Our guest speaker is an outstanding graduate of our school, the class valedictorian of Class 2004, and a recipient of the Jerry Rojas Leadership Award. Born on October 12, 1987, in a native of Naga City, this gentleman exudes strong will and determination to pursue his chosen career. He finished Bachelor of Science in Economics at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and was awarded cum laude. While maintaining his status as a university scholar, he was able to competently perform his duties in function as elected president of the UP Harong and UP Ibalon, a UP-based organizations of Bicolano students in UP Diliman. He has earned the title Juris Doctor at the Ateneo de Manila Law School and was awarded second honors, or top 13. The elected president of the Ateneo de Manila University Law School Student Council in 2012 to 2013 and member of the Fraternal Order of Utopia, or the Ateneo Law School Fraternity. He passed the 2013 bar examination with a general average of 82.10%. Some of his noteworthy accomplishments and milestones in his professional career include junior partner, Tabora and Tabora Law Offices, review director, Lex Scolarium Bar Review and Coaching Center, associate professor of law, University of Nueva Cáceres College of Law, University of Northeastern Philippines College of Law, and the University of St. Thomas, Legazpi, or the UST Legazpi. Also a junior associate, Poblador Bautista and Reyes Law Offices, a legal intern, Romulo Mabanta, Buenaventura Sayop de Los Angeles Law Office, and a researcher at the Makati Business Club. Truly, this gentleman radiates passion and commitment to his craft. Friends, join me in welcoming our guest speaker, the pride of Camarines National High School, J. Robert T. Tabora.
Four years ago, when you first stepped as high school students in this institution, I am certain that how you pictured yourselves moving up was entirely different from this current reality. Just like any other graduations, which came before your time, there must have been this picture of you walking in the rhythm of graduation march, with a smile of fulfillment, eyes hopeful for what is to come, and the plethora of emotions bleeding into one space as you reminisce the triumphs and defeats, hopes and fears, and friendships and heartbreaks of your junior high school careers, which are about to see its end. Unfortunately, for most of you who has this image in your head, it must have been upsetting to be forced to accept that the moving up ceremony that should have been a huge celebration, producing buckets of pictures and sharing the warmest of hugs with family and friends, will not take the place the way you visualized it would. To the Public School District Supervisor, Mr. Michael A. Del Rosario, the principal of this school, Mr. Sulficio C. Alvarez III, the assistant principal for senior high school, Melissa B. Bobos, the assistant principal for junior high school, Gemma O. Corporal, and assistant principal for operations and learner support, Lynn R. Priles, to the department heads, the faculty and staff, parents, and to the junior high school completers of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. For almost 2 years now, the COVID-19 pandemic has been our new reality. Since no one really saw this coming, there was a point when the world was momentarily silenced. Then came the substantial reboot for our country in every respect imaginable. In terms of the political climate, the economic arena, human relations, and education. Our education system has always been far from perfect. However, during this pandemic, it seems like the crosses that the players in this sector bear have grown in size and become heavier. For the administrators and teachers, they needed to drastically change the way they facilitate the learning process. For you students, you needed to adjust your learning style with the modular and online classes while trying to preserve and nurse your mental health in the midst of it all. And for you parents, they needed to be brave. The everyday uncertainty of the economic situation, of where their clean working hands will likely get the money to support your education in this new normal. It is true, we were not ready for the far-reaching transitions that we were faced with. However, it is also true that this is the kind of reality that we have to accept if we want to move forward. And we have to move forward. The theme for this moving up exercises, which is strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, or in Filipino, kalidad ng edukasyon lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, is a direct call for the players in the academe to bolster the system that has been shaky since time immemorial. Since there was a collapse in some areas of the system, why not treat this as an opportunity to build something new and steady, instead standing still and describing how the ruins have become? Of course, the responsibility of reimagining and reforming our educational system that will foster the development and direct the learning process of our student largely rests on the government and those who are in charge of its implementation. Their design and ability to sustain their plans will determine the extrinsic success of the education during this pandemic. Without the strong foundation, which should be established by the authorities, any effort from the other ends will all be futile. In strengthening the quality of education, especially in these challenging times of health and economic crisis, the success of our imagined educational system can be measured by the products of it. The students. They are the intrinsic determinants of the success of any academic institution. Hence, we need to make sure that the actions in the goal setting must be concentrated to them, not only in terms of how they learn their lessons or assignments, but also taking into consideration the physical and mental health of the students. Without them being taken care of by the system, everything else will fail. My dear students, you might be wondering, ano kaya ang papel ko sa lahat ng ito? Ano ang dapat kong gampanan upang makatulong sa pagpapatibay ng kalidad ng edukasyon sa gitna ng pandemya? My answer is simple. Be a total man. As completers of this institution, the call for you, students, is not only to aid in this goal of uplifting the quality of education, but to make sure that you personify the education of a total man, as your presence grace whatever path it is that you have chosen to take. You have to embody the education of a total man. Pero, sino ba ang taong ito? Who is the total man? A total man is not a perfect man, but he or she is someone educated enough to be able to create a positive impact to the spaces he or she occupies. The impact that can influence others to do good and stand up for what is right, and also the impact that can shake off the lethargy and apathy of those who are in their deep sleep after being cradled by their privilege. A total man is someone who knows himself or herself well enough to recognize that each individual is unique in their own terms and that each individuality deserves to be recognized, that it is as valid as everyone else. Alam niya kung sino siya at alam niya na iba-iba ang mga taong nakapaligid sa kanya. A total man will not push the agenda of imposing his or her identity on others, but will afford everyone the respect due them regardless of their gender identity, religious persuasions, and social status. A total man dreams with a heart driven by good intentions. Malayo ang tinatanaw ng kanyang mga mata at malalim ang ugat ng kanyang pangarap. A total man dreams with his eyes open and his feet well grounded on reality. As of this moment, I know that you are all driven by dreams that you wish to get hold of in the future, which seems nearer now than when you first entered this academic institution years ago. You have a burning desire to find your place in this world that is so used to impose structural limitations on where your voyage would stop, a cap on how far your dreams can take. Your desire is good, but I say to you, your dreams will only be as good as the effort and diligence that you are willing to put up in the process. Before becoming a lawyer, I was also a dreamer. My formative years in this institution is a paradox worth noting because it was both the humble and at the same time the proud formative years in my life. This brings me smile of nostalgia and fulfillment every time I extract the narratives from my memory. Our beloved school, Csnhs, was and will forever be part of it. That is why I am filled with joy speaking for you today. Natatandaan ko pa kung paano hinubog ng paaralang ito ang aking pagkatao. From academics to my extracurricular activities, it was a happy memory how this school taught me values and forged my principles na hanggang ngayon ay dala-dala ko pa rin. I was a student leader back then, kaya naman, hanggang ngayon, alam kong bukas ang aking puso sa pag-unawa sa mga taong alam kong nakikinig at nagtitiwala sa akin. I was a learner of this institution, and it taught me that education does not stop even if we leave the premises of the school that welcomed and nurtured us, because as we venture through longer paths, we will always be a student of life. When I was your age, I can say that I did work hard for my dreams. Most of the time, I worked more than what is necessary and what was required of me. There were days when it seems that my hard work was in vain, and I can only tell you how frustrating it must have been. But at each turn, I realized that the hard work and perseverance are the twin ingredients of success. There, I realized that my educational journey will not end up with a painting of me as a lawyer, in a coat and tie, in the finish line, but it is more like an adventure wherein I have to pick up the fragments and the colors of different experiences along the way, both the good and the bad. to paint the version of me that I want to see in my timeline. Ako ang nagiging pintor sa aking kapalaran. Ginusto kong maging isang abogado, kaya pinagsikapan kong maabot ito. I hope that you take this as an inspiration when I say that napakagaan ng pakiramdam na balikan ang nakaraan kapag naabot mo na ang isang bagay, ang pangarap na dati ay nasa isip mo lang. In this time of pandemic, there are some who were forced to suspend their dreams for a while. May mga iba na kailangang baguhin ang kanilang pangarap upang sabayan kung ano ang realidad na nasa harap nila ngayon. May mga iba naman hindi magawang mangarap kasama ng kanilang pamilya o mga kaibigan dahil binawian na ng buhay ang mga dapat sanay kasama nila sa pag-abot nito. That is why, my dear students, I hope that despite everything, you consider yourselves fortunate of this progress in your academic career. As you move up to senior high school years, do remember that your education is the one thing that you will forever have for yourself, but it will be of no use if you are not intending to become better men and women. As you leave this school, I want you to remember these 3 important lessons that I can share with you. First, you are young. This means that there is relatively an open space where you can grow and be your own person. It is a tough world out there, and many people will not approve of you, but it doesn't mean that they are right. I am a professor of law, and I have my methods in teaching my students. Of course, I will use the methods that I deem appropriate for the ones I teach. It turns out that even us, lawyers or professors, are not saved from the wrath and hatred of critics. One of my students, who seemed rather unappreciative of my ways of teaching, posted an article online calling me the demon professor. But as a professor who wants to help in forming future lawyers, I know that the disapproval of that student was misplaced. Not because I am already a lawyer, but because her peers and other students were already commenting on that post that I was not wrong at all, and I know I am not. My dear students, I hope that you find out who you are. And once you have already identified your principles and ideals, you stand by it, regardless of how many people are not on your team. As long as you are in the right, you stand by it. The second thing that I want you to remember is to always check your privilege and use it to your advantage. A total man is someone who does not sleep on his rights. A total man is one who uses his privilege and who does not fault others when they are not blessed with it. Lagi niyong tatandaan na hindi lahat ng tao ay pare-pareho ng pribilehiyo. Kaya maging mapangunawa kung nakikita mo na ang iba ay hirap sa pag-abot ng kanilang mga pangarap. Unawain mo rin ang iyong sitwasyon kung ikaw ay mas mabagal sa iba dahil kulang ang mga oportunidad na dumarating sa iyo. Pero kahit pa matagal at mahirap, huwag mong bibitawan ang mga pangarap mo, lalong-lalo na kung alam mong makakaya mo ito. The third one, and this is the challenge for you, be someone with integrity. Maraming matatalino, maraming may pinag-aralan sa ating lipunan. But that is not the personification of the education of a total man. We need people with integrity in all the corners of our society, in healthcare, in the administration of justice, in education, and especially in the government. All the ills of society have started with men having questionable integrity. And we cannot afford another generation to be groomed into this practice. My dear students, you are the measure of how good the quality of education will be. It is not just about how many of you have completed their junior high school in this time of pandemic, but it is more of how many of those who moved up despite the pandemic moved closer to becoming a total man. Congratulations, completers of 2021. All the best to you in senior high school and college. Thank you.